Hello, everybody. What's up? This is Gina Ifoe, the one and only African superstar. And today I want to talk about some, I believe, breakdown in communication between the diaspora and continental Africans. So today I want to talk about why do Black Americans have such strong views on race. Big shout outs to the African Superstar family. Big shout outs to the customers of theafricansuperstar.com. Please do head to my website, www.theafricansuperstar.com, to support via merch and beautiful products sourced from the motherland and other products as well. So it has come to my attention, obviously, through my very frequent and extensive travels on the continent, as well as, research that I have been initiating on my own, that there's a huge communication gap between people in the diaspora, so that includes Canada, America, Europe, UK, and those that are currently residing on the continent in regards to history, in regards to current events, in regards to basically the experience that both parties, their day-to-day lives. So I've heard from several continental Africans, they don't understand why members of the diaspora constantly talk about race, why they have such strong views towards non-Black people, don't believe in interracial dating, etc., etc. And I can basically sum it up into the respect that racism is an everyday facet of our lives. A lot of us has begun to explore other countries beyond maybe where we were born and raised because we want to escape that pressure. And I do realize that people that are coming from the continent are not growing up in that same environment. And I have to tell my brothers and sisters from the diaspora to be mindful of that when you're heading there. When you have conversations with people on the continent, they will not have the same perspective on race because they have not been immersed in that world. And you will also see members, migrants that come to the West, they then begin to understand a lot more of why we are this way. But I kind of just want to break down some critical things towards people on the continent to help them understand where we are coming from. A lot of this issue is historical. I know that many people on the continent do not learn extensively of the slave trade, but the slave trade had huge ramifications on the American soil. There was rape, there was murder, there was the destruction of family, there was abuse, there was inhumane treatment that was delegated, obviously, by white people on Black people, our ancestors. This didn't just happen during the transatlantic slave trade period. It is still ongoing to this day in many different forms. Beyond that, there was a host of things, such as, segregation, Jim Crow. Obviously, you probably are familiar with the civil rights movement because of Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton of the Black Panther Party, Marcus Garvey, Frederick Douglass. These are a lot of figures that you are probably familiar with. But basically, those figures were elevated because they were fighting for the rights of equality for Black people in America, more specifically. Beyond that, there has what we most popularly deal with today, which is called systematic racism. It is the double standards that Black people endure when they're dealing with business practices, the judicial system, housing, education, the workplace, that basically prohibits them from ascertaining certain levels, irregardless of their educational background, their wealth, their education, their intellect. These things don't matter. There's also the fact that they have capitalized greatly on many, many Black talented individuals. This is not limited, but does include movie stars, celebrities, athletes, where you will see that the entity that is promoting this individual actually receive all the benefits, all the royalties, all the money for the products that are created, and the individual who makes it does not benefit. And so, in closing with this message, the reality is on the continent, and this part would go more specifically to the diaspora, on the continent, our peers are not seeing this side of things. When they are interacting with travelers or when they're seeing them through the media, they're glamorous, they're nice, they're generous, they're not violent, they're not racist, they're not the form that we endure with every single day. And I think ultimately how we break this down is by communicating with each other. It's not for us to become enemies and start bickering. Oh my gosh, you're a coon. Da, da, da. A lot of times it's just misinformation. It's a lot of misinformation. It would be completely different if Africans were completely aware of the experience that their brothers and sisters are dealing in the diaspora, and then just saying, you know what, that's your problem. We have nothing to do with that, so on and so forth. That's not been my experience from my relationships in various African circles. It's been my experience that people are ignorant, and actually when they wake up, they become huge advocates of us and our movement and our progression, and they even go as far as to invite us to come back to the motherland, where we will be welcome and where we will be safe and protected from the violence and the brutal reality, the hostile environment that we face every single day in these settings. So I did just want to provide this video to bring a little bit more insight. Often we get lost in the back and forth and we don't actually take it as a teaching point. And I'm an intellectual, so I appreciate information that allows me to make educated decisions. Thank you for watching another episode. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.